Welcome to the Health Talk podcast, where evidence meets encouragement and information becomes transformation. I'm Dr. Ferris Corbett, alongside my colleague, Dr. Deidre Willis, and we want to thank you for joining us today. We don't take it lightly that you've chosen to spend this time with us. Here at Health Talk, our goal is simple: to provide you with clear, trustworthy, and practical health information so that you can make informed decisions about your life, your wellness, and the well-being of those you love. From public health to mental health, from prevention to healing, we believe knowledge is power, but wisdom is action. And together, we'll explore both. So, settle in, open your mind and heart, and let's take this journey toward health, hope, and wholeness together.
Good evening. And I do apologize. I just realized that the mic was on mute. All right. Good evening, family and friends. Welcome to this very special edition of Health Talk. I'm Dr. Ferris Corbett, and tonight we're answering one of your requests, a conversation that is long overdue in our communities, and that is on menopause. So, as I said, we do take your requests and we do listen to you and we try our best to meet your requests. So, with that being said, if you have a special request of a topic that you would like for us to present, go ahead, leave that down there in the chat, in the comment section, and we'll do our best to get your request answered. Okay. So, letting you know, yes, we do answer your request. Now, the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 and verse number 1 tells us that to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. Menopause is one of those seasons. It is natural, it is universal for women, and yet it is often met with silence, stigma, or misunderstanding. But tonight, we break that silence, and I'm glad you're here to be a part of that conversation with us. So go ahead, tag someone, let them know that Health Talk is on the air, and we are doing a special edition tonight in response to a request from one of our faithful viewers. And just to let you know, yes, we do get your requests, and we will do our very best to get that request here so that you and our listening audience can enjoy the topic of your request. Okay, we're glad that you're here. So, again, welcome. All right, let's get ready to get into it. Now, did you know globally, globally, 1.2 billion women will be experiencing menopause by 2030. And this is according to the World Health Organization. The average age of menopause in the United States is 51 years, but symptoms can begin earlier during what is called premenopause, and this is according to the National Institution of Health. And here is something surprising. Up to 75% of women experience hot flashes during menopause, but only 25% seek medical support. So that means millions are suffering in silence. But as I said, tonight we break that silence. And we're so glad that you're here along this journey with us as we talk about a very timely topic, and that is menopause. Now, also, if you don't mind, if you go ahead and go in that chat area, go in the comment section, and let us know where you are watching us from. Okay, that would mean so much to us. Just take a little minute, go in the chat area, and just let us know where you're watching us from. Okay, we greatly appreciate that. All right, now let's get back to the subject matter at hand. So, what is menopause or understanding menopause? Menopause is defined as 12 consecutive months without a menstrual period, signaling the end of ovarian function. So, menopause is defined as 12 consecutive months without a menstrual period, signaling the end of ovarian function. So, women's who are going through menopause, you have a whole year to deal with it. I'm sorry. Yeah, a whole year. Now, premenopause or the transition phase can start in women's in their 40s, and in some instances, it even starts earlier than that. So, what's going on biologically when you're in menopause? Biologically. So, what happens? The ovaries begin to reduce production of estrogen and progesterone. So your ovaries start to decrease their production of these two hormones, estrogen and progesterone. So, and also your follicle stimulating hormone, which is the FSH levels, they begin to rise. Now, these hormonal shifts, the reduction in the estrogen and progesterone and the rise in the FSH, this shift or these changes or these hormonal imbalance, they begin to affect the brain, they affect the bone, they affect the heart, and many more other things that they affect. Now, this is important to understand. This is not a disease. It is a natural stage of life. So don't look at menopause as being a sickness or a disease or anything like that. It is a natural stage of life. But its symptoms can deeply affect physical health, mental health, and even your daily living. Okay? So, what are some common signs and symptoms, and what are some things that may trigger menopause? Menopause symptoms vary, they vary, but the most common symptoms include things such as hot flashes and night sweats. This is the one that the majority of women's, have the issue with, and that is those hot flashes and night sweats. And these particular symptoms are experienced by approximately 75% of every woman. Another one is sleep disturbance. Of course, if you're having hot flashes while you're trying to sleep, or you're having night sweats while you're trying to sleep, of course, it's going to impede or have an impact on your sleep pattern. So your sleep will be impacted by it. Okay. Also, there are mood swings, anxiety, and depression. These are some of the common symptoms that are associated when a woman is going through menopause. Also, another one that a lot of women have issue with or take issue with is weight gain and change in metabolism. Yeah, weight gain and change in metabolism. Okay, when you're going through that menopause stage. Another sign and symptoms is vaginal dryness or decreased libido. And of course, libido means the desire or the um, the desire or the wish for intimacy. So, wet vaginal dryness and decreased libido are some symptoms associated with it. Also, memory or concentration changes, changes in your memory or concentration. And this is sometimes what they call brain fog. These are all some of the common symptoms that are associated with menopause. As we said, um, the menopause symptoms they vary, but these that I just mentioned to you are the most common ones that are associated with menopause, and with hot flashes and night sweats being experienced by 75% of all women who go through menopause. Okay? So, listen, tag someone that you think needs to hear this podcast tonight. If you don't catch it on live, please make sure you catch it on replay. All right? Share, like, tag, share. Somebody you know that may be currently going through menopause, someone that may be in the premenopausal stage, or even someone that's in postmenopause, because we're going to talk about all that. All right. Now, here are some common triggers uh, that are associated with hot flashes. So, these are some of the things that you want to try to avoid when you are experiencing that menopausal phase and when you're having those hot flashes, because these are some of the things that could actually trigger hot flashes, and they are stress. So if you find yourself in a stressful situation, stressful circumstances, or what have you, they could trigger hot flashes. Also, caffeine. Caffeine uh, triggers hot flashes. So you want to try your best to avoid anything uh, that is caffeinated if you are in your menopausal stage, because it is a trigger of hot flashes. Also, alcohol. You want to definitely try to avoid any consumption of alcohol because, as I said, it too is a trigger of hot flashes. Spicy foods. You want to try to avoid those spicy food because those spicy food, they could actually trigger hot flashes. Yeah. And warm environments. That's why, a lot of times you see uh, individuals, females, women's, when they're experiencing that hot flash, you see them, they've got whatever they can get, paper, plate, it doesn't matter. They got that and they trying to, cool themselves off. So warm environment is a trigger of hot flashes. Okay, so recapping that right quick, like some triggers of hot flashes include things such as stress, caffeine, alcohol, spicy food, and warm environments. Now, understanding these triggers can help women anticipate and even in some instant reduce their frequencies of hot flashes. Okay, don't say they're going to go away, but avoiding these triggers can help you to anticipate and also help you to reduce the frequencies of the hot flashes. Okay. Now, we talked about uh, the hormonal changes that take place in your body is that the ovaries during menopause decrease their production of estrogen and progesterone, and also the FSH level began to rise. Now, and as a result of the estrogen level decreasing during menopause, the body goes through changes that increases the risk for several several long-term health concerns. All right, so let's talk about those right now. One of them, and it is osteoporosis. And this was talking about bone health. During menopause, up to 20% of bone mass is lost in the first 5 to 7 years after menopause, which in turn increases the risk for fracture. Okay, so these are talking about long term concerns of menopause. And that first one we talked about is osteoporosis, bone health. And as we said, a woman loses up to 20% of bone mass in the first 5 to 7 years after menopause, which increases their risk for fractures. The second one, which is heart health, cardiovascular disease. Heart disease becomes the number one cause of death for women over 50. Yeah, yeah. So, heart risk, cardiovascular disease, heart disease in women's over 50 become the number one cause of mortality. Another one is the metabolic changes. You begin to experience weight gain, you begin to have insulin resistance, and you also have an increased risk of diabetes due to that insulin resistance change, that metabolic changes that occur. Also, mood disorder. There's a greater risk for depression, anxiety, and sleep disruption. So, all these are long term health concerns. Other risks uh, includes vaginal changes, urinary issues, and possible cognitive changes. So, all these are long term concerns as a result of the reduction in the estrogen and progesterone, as well as the change in the FSH. Okay. Now, the message is very, is very clear. Menopause is not an endpoint, it is a health transition. With knowledge and care, uh, women can thrive in the years beyond menopause. Okay. Now, as we said, menopause is the transition. Once you have transition, postmenopause is the new normal. So remember, you got premenopausal phase, you got the menopausal phase, which lasts typically 12 consecutive months, and then you have the postmenopause, which becomes your new normal. Okay. Now, the hot flashes may ease, but for some women, they last 7 to 10 years or even longer. So that's why we say postmenopause is the new norm. Okay. Again, the hot flashes may cease, but in some instance, women have been known to experience these hot flashes 7 to 10 years or even longer. The vaginal dryness and the urinary changes often continue without treatment. So a lot of women go without treatment when they experience that vaginal dryness or those urinary changes. The risk for osteoporosis, heart disease, and metabolic issue remains elevated, as we talked about, uh, postmenopausal. So these are some things you want to be concerned with. But here's the good news. Here's the good news. No more cycles, no more PMS, and no more risk of becoming pregnant. That's the good news. Many women describe the postmenopausal uh, phase as a time of freedom, stability, and renewal. And with healthy living and screening, the season can be one of vitality. Okay? And Isaiah 46 and 4 promise that even to your old age and gray hairs, I am he who will sustain you. So, postmenopause can be a season of wisdom, strength, and purpose for a lot of women. So, what happens? Lifestyle. What you want to start doing this season when you're in that menopause phase, make some lifestyle changes, such as wearing cooler clothing, or as we talked about earlier, limiting or even eliminating your alcohol and caffeine intake. You want to do some mild exercises to help with the bone health. You may want to take calcium and vitamin D supplement, but also make sure you consult with your healthcare provider before doing any of these lifestyle modification or lifestyle changes. Okay, medical wise, hormone therapy when appropriate, and again, have that discussion with your healthcare provider. Uh, Non-hormonal medication and vaginal estrogen. But again, make sure you have that conversation with your healthcare provider. So, some integrated services that you can incorporate into that menopausal phase is things such as cognitive behavior therapy, mindfulness, yoga, and relaxation techniques. All these you can incorporate in your menopausal stage. Now, if you have a loved one, it could be your spouse, your significant other, uh, of whomever, it could be your children, could be your grandchildren. This is a moment you want to bring them in the room because we're going to talk about how they can support you during your menopause stage. Okay, so if you got a family member there, it could be your spouse, your significant other, it could be your children of age, and your grandchildren of age, whomever it may be. Go ahead, get them right now. Go get them and bring them in and let them hear this section of this podcast because this is a section of the podcast that they need to hear. Not only do you need to hear it, but they need to hear this particular section that we're about to talk about now, okay? Because this is how we as that loved one in your life, as that significant other in your life, this is how we can provide you the support that you need during that transitional phase of menopause. Because as you all know, and if you don't know, you will soon find out that a lot of women's doing that transitional phase, as we talked about, there's some mood change, there's some behavior change, there's some attitudinal changes. So go get them, bring them in the room. Come on, go get them, bring them in the room so that they can hear this particular segment of the podcast because this is how we can be a support to you during your time of the transitioning phase of life. All right. So here we go. As we said, Menopause often affect families too. Loved ones may notice mood swings, as we talked about. They may notice irritability and even fatigue. And these are not personal attacks, they are symptoms, okay? So we got to learn how to deal with the symptoms. That's why I want you to go get that loved one, go get that child of age, go get that grandchild of age, go get that significant other, go get your partner, whomever it may be. Bring them in the room so that they can hear this particular segment, okay? So, as we said, menopause affect family. Loved ones, you may notice they begin to have mood swings. They begin to get extremely irritable. And like I say, these are not personal attacks against you, but they are symptoms that a woman is experiencing during menopause. Okay. So here's how we can help support them during this phase of life. First thing we need to do is listen without judgment. Be a safe space for them to express their self, express what they're feeling. Is to just talk it out. Sometimes it's just good to talk it out. So listen without judgment and allow them to have that safe space. Okay. Be patient. Remember, this is a season, it's not forever. So be patient. And yes, I know it says 12 consecutive months, a whole year, but remember, it's going to eventually pass. But until then, be patient, okay? Be patient. Learn together. Understanding builds empathy. And that's why I wanted you all to get them into the room so they you can learn together. Okay? So understanding, it builds empathy. Offer practical support. Adjust the thermostat. If they saying, "Oh, I'm so hot," adjust the thermostat. Cool the room off for them. Get a fan and put down in front of them. Make them comfortable. Provide that practical support that they need during this time. Bring a cool blanket when they're doing that time of those hot flashes, and give her a moment to rest, because after all, the body is undergoing significant changes. Okay. And lastly, encourage care. Support her in seeking medical advice whenever it is needed, such as going to see the doctor to get the hormonal replacement therapy is necessary. Okay. So encourage care. Honey, what can I do for you today to help you? Okay. So again, listen without judgment, be patient, learn together, offer practical support, and encourage care. Proverbs 17:17 says, "A friend loveth at all time, and a brother is born for adversity." Menopause is one of those times where patience and love matters most. Because again, the mood swing, the irritability, the fatigue. Okay? So think about that. So, what are some practical takeaways that we want you to get or learn tonight? One of them is know your numbers, know your cholesterol levels, know your blood pressure. Uh, know about bone scans, the DEXA, DEXA, which is a bone scan. Because remember, you're losing that estrogen, progesterone, and increase your risk for osteoporosis, which is a bone disease. It also increase your risk for heart disease. So know your numbers, have your cholesterol check, have your blood pressure managed and check. And I discussed that about having that DEXA, which is a bone scan. Find your triggers. Know what it is that triggers those hot flashes. And once you find those triggers that uh, causes those hot flash, reduce uh, reduce those things so you can help reduce those hot flashes. Remember those triggers again was caffeine, alcohol, and spicy food, a hot or a warm environment. So you know that these are now triggers. So now that you know that these are trigger, try to avoid those things. Okay. Seek support. Seek support from your family, your community, or your healthcare provider. Okay. And for the loved ones of those women that are going through menopause, offer grace. Okay. Listen, I get it. I understand with the mood swing, the irritability that snap at the drop of a hat. I get it. But offer grace for not only but you, the individual that may be going through menopause, offer your own self some grace. Okay. All right. Now, this is a part that I think that everybody can participate in. Not only do I think, but this is a part that I know that everybody can participate in. So in the chat, I am going to put a question in the chat, and I want you to give us your response. You can give us your response. You can put it in the comment section, because your response may be able to actually help somebody else that may be dealing with menopause at this time. They may be in premenopause, they may be postmenopausal, but your response can help them to understand uh, how to transition in this most challenging moment in a woman's life. Okay, so the first the first one that we're going to put on this is in the chat, and we're going to put that on the screen at this time, and that is okay, and that is, when you think about menopause, what comes to mind? Fear, uncertainty, perhaps relief? So, when you think about menopause, what comes to your mind first? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Fear, uncertainty, or perhaps relief? So leave us your comment. Let us hear what you have to say. We would love to hear that. Okay? Share it with us if you don't mind. You don't have to, there's no pressure. Um, so, no pressure. The second thing is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how supported do you feel in this stage of life? What would make that support 1 point higher? So, on the scale of 1 to 10, how supported do you feel in this stage of life, and what would make that number 1 point higher? Okay, go ahead. Leave us your comment. We would love to hear your comment. And as I say, your comment could very well help someone else that may be in that pre, during, and post stage of menopause. Okay. And the third question is, and we're putting it on the screen now, if your church, workplace, or family openly talked about menopause, what impact would that have on you or someone you love? Hmm? So, again, if your church, workplace, or family openly talked about menopause, what impact would that have on you or someone you love? All right. Let's put that up again. All right. And our last and final one is, what is one small step you can take, whether schedule a doctor appointment visit, joining a group, or simply offering grace to make this season in a woman's life and in your own life easier? So, what is one step that you can take, whether scheduling a doctor's visit, joining a group, or simply offering grace to make this season in a woman's life more bearable. Okay, so again, when you think about menopause, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it fear, uncertainty, or perhaps relief? Leave us your comment. We would like to hear from you. If you catch it on the replay, you can still leave us that comment in the comment section. We greatly appreciate it because what you say could very well help somebody else. Okay, so go ahead. You're not pressured to do it. We're just asking you to do it if you don't mind. All right. Again, and on the scale of 1 to 10, how supported do you feel in this stage of life? And what makes that number 1 point higher? So, what kind of support are you receiving in your pre, during, or post menopausal phase? Okay. All right. And if your church, workplace, family openly talked about menopause, what impact would that have on you or someone you love? Okay, leave us that comment down in the chat in the comment section. And lastly, what is one step you can take, whether scheduling a doctor's appointment, joining a group, or simply offering grace to make this season of menopause in someone's life much easier? Okay, think about those questions. Go ahead, drop down in the comments section. Let us hear from you. Let us hear your thoughts. And remember, these questions are not judgment, but reflection. Awareness creates empowerment. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're trying to raise that awareness. So those questions are not judgmental questions. They're not, to be taken in that light or in that sense, but they are to create awareness and to bring reflection. Now, at He Cares Training and Education Center, LLC, we know menopause is not just a health matter, it is a life matter. So, what we provide workshops to educate women and family. We provide faith based coaching to strengthen emotional and spiritual resilience. We also provide community training for churches and organizations to better support women. Now, how can you get in touch with us? I'm so glad that you asked because we're going to put that information on the screen at this time. And this is how you can get in touch with us here at He Cares Training and Education Center. And listen, we would love definitely to hear from you. So that information is on the screen. You can contact us by emailing us at the email address shown, or you can visit us on our website. Okay. So again, we here at He Cares Training and Education Center, we provide you the workshops, faith-based coaching, and community training. Because when women are supported, families and communities are strengthened. And that is what we're here to do at He Cares Training and Education Center, LLC, where yours truly is the founder and CEO, and Dr. Deidre Willis is our executive vice president, and she is the co founder of He Cares Training and Education Center. So, if there's any way that we can be of a service to you in any way, shape, form, or fashion, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. And again, I am going to place that information on how you can get in touch with us. I'm also going to put in here at this time the hyperlink that you can go ahead and click on that hyperlink, and it will automatically take you to our website so that you can schedule a discovery call with us so that we can, it's a discovery video call rather, so that we can discuss how He Cares Training and Education Center can be a help to you. Okay? All right. So, family, remember, menopause is not an ending. Okay? It's not an ending. It is a transition into a new chapter in your life. And so, with compassion, with support, And with the knowledge we're providing you tonight, it can be a season of hope, even during those hot flashes. Okay? All right, listen, do us a favor. If this podcast has been a help to you, your family, please take a minute, like, tag, share, give us a thumbs up. Okay? And if you're not following us on our Health Talk Facebook channel, please head on over there to Facebook and go ahead and follow us on our Health Talk Facebook page. And if you're not subscribed to our Health Talk YouTube channel, please head on over there to YouTube and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so that you can get notification each time that we come on live or upload new material. Okay? Again, like, tag, share. If you're catching this on replay, like, tag, share. It means so much to us, okay? And we really appreciate you. Again, this has been a special segment brought to you at the request of one of our faithful viewers. And so, again, I say to you, please, if you have a request that you would like for Health Talk to present, go ahead and take a minute, leave it in the comment. And if you don't want to leave it in the comment section, then feel free to go to our page, our Health Talk page, or you can give us an email or go to our website and leave your request there. There's a place in on the website page that you can leave a request there as well. Okay? Now, family, thank you so much for joining us here tonight for our special edition of Health Talk. And don't forget, as I said, please share this episode with someone who may need encouragement, who may be in the midst of premenopause, who may be in menopause, and who may be postmenopause. We got you covered here on Health Talk. Health Talk is a part of He Cares Training and Education Center, LLC, where yours truly, Dr. Corbett, is the CEO and founder, and Dr. Deidre Willis is our executive vice president and our co-founder. Thank you again for joining us for this special episode of Health Talk. All right, don't forget to share, don't forget to like, don't forget to tag, don't forget to give us that thumbs up, okay? Remember, Health Talk will resume its nightly podcast beginning Monday night at 8 p.m. Make sure you tell somebody that Health Talk will come back Monday, the 8th of September, with this nightly podcast. All right. So make your plan to join us. All right. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We appreciate you. Again, if you catch this on the replay, please like, tag, share. Go ahead and provide a response to the question. They should be still in the comment section. Hopefully, they're still there. All right. Listen, until Monday night, God bless you. And again, thank you so much for joining us here for this special edition. As I said, we do take your requests and we do review them, and we do try to make plans to present your requests here on Health Talk. So get those health topics in so that we can have a discussion and share with you, our listening audience, and abroad here on Health Talk. Until Monday night, God bless. Take care.